Choosing a carp rod is vital. Choose the right one for the fishing situation that you've got. No one rod can do everything on every single water, so there are a range of rods available. All different test curves, that's the starting point when choosing a carp rod. I've got Dave Lane with me here to discuss all the different types that are available.
Okay, as Mark so rightly pointed out, choosing the right tool for the right job, as in most things, is paramount to success. Rods up to 2 3/4, there's a popular misconception that they're lightweight rods, but they're actually perfect for the job at hand if you're fishing small commercial waters, just smaller lakes, margin fishing. They're ideal. The beauty of a 2 3/4 pound rod or a 2.5 pound rod is the playing action. Obviously it's a lot softer, it's not necessary to have that backbone for those massive casts. So when you do hook a fish and you do get it close in, you're playing it, they're just so much nicer, the feel of them. They're lovely to play a fish on, and you feel a lot more confident when you get a fish near the net. But if need be, with a 2 3/4 pound rod, you know, you can use leads say from 1 ounce up to 3 ounce, and if you were to put a 3 ounce rod on a 2 3/4 pound, a 3 ounce lead, sorry, on a 2 3/4 pound rod, and give it a good cast, you're going to get ranges up to about 100 metres, I suppose. So they're a good all-round rod, ideal for small PVA bags, margin fishing and small waters. Okay, next we have rods in the 3 to 3 1/4 pound range. These are becoming a lot more popular over the recent years, mainly because of their versatility. With a rod, say a 3 1/4 pound rod, you can practically cover all situations. They're still forgiving enough to fish close in if need be, but if you do feel that need to go out at range, a 3 or definitely a 3 1/4 pound rod, you should be able to get ranges up to maybe even 140 yards with the right lead and the right line. They're quite easily handled leads up to 4 ounces, and a 3 1/4 is actually my own personal choice of rod because of the sort of various waters I fish, and I never know quite what I'm going to come up against when I turn up, whether I'm going to be fishing at 10 yards or if the fish is showing at 120, 130 yards, that's where I need to be. They're also a good rod because they've got that extra bit of backbone if you do use larger PVA bags, method feeders, anything that's that extra little bit of casting weight, they're perfect for that. And you will find with as you go up in the test curves that the rods nowadays generally start to become a little bit more faster taper, which is to say they bend quite easily at the tip, but then the main strength of the rod transfers further up the blank, so you've got more of a beefy backbone for casting distances and for playing big fish. I mean, if you're playing big fish in weedy situations, you know, you're going to find a 3 or 3 1/4 rod will just give you that extra little bit of confidence at getting them in. And finally, we have an extreme distance. These are the 3 1/2 pound test curve rods. Really, these are for guys who really want to hit the horizon. There's no real limit to the casting ability of these rods, it's more down to your own ability. These are quite easily handled leads in excess of 4 ounce, 5 ounce, maybe even 6 ounce in the right situations, used with a shock leader. If you need to get there, a 3 1/2 pound test curve rod in the right hands is going to get you there. The other thing with long range rods is obviously that's exactly what they are. They're designed for casting at long range, and you do lose a little bit or compromise a little bit of your fish playing, not ability, but the feel of playing a fish. It's a bit of an art into itself. So if you're going to use one of these at close range, hook and hold, it's not really the tool for the job. But they will get you out there, and if you use them correctly, you will get the fish back in.
Of course, any purchase is going to be governed by your budget. First bit of advice I would give is spend what you can afford. Don't stretch yourself, you might live to regret it one day, but equally, you know, if you can buy the next rod up, if you like, in that price band, then it's worth having a look. The beauty these days is that you can actually get a lot of carp rod for not a lot of money. You can spend anything from 50 quid up to, well, 300 or 400 pounds for a carp rod today. Yes, there's going to be a difference in performance. Yes, there's going to be a difference in balance, in terms of weight, in terms of the quality of the carbon used. So ultimately, I guess you do get what you pay for. But thankfully, you get a little bit more these days by sometimes paying a little bit less. You know, you don't have to go out and spend £300 to get performance. Fittings on a rod is another thing. You know, you could end up with a rod with Fuji reel seat, Fuji guides throughout, you know, the top end stuff, but again, you're going to pay top end money for that. Again, all boils down to if you need some advice, whether you've got a budget of £50 or £350, the experts at Fishtec are there to help you make the right decision.